Welcome back to the channel. We are kicking things off with a deep dive into the tactical struggles of Spain and Barça Femení. Both teams are dominating the game, but their predictable patterns are becoming a liability. We are breaking down why they need to change their approach and why players like Salma Parallulo should be starting to add some much-needed firepower. Next up, we have some harsh words from former defender Samuel Umtiti. He is expressing huge disappointment after Barcelona's Champions League exit against Atletico Madrid. Umtiti is pointing the finger directly at the defense and claiming that costly red cards and slow reactions are the only things that stopped Barca from advancing to the next round. But the problem goes even deeper as we look at the biggest issue under Hansi Flick. The high defensive line is under fire after a devastating elimination from the tournament. We are discussing how this bold system has been completely exposed and why legends like Thierry Henry are calling for immediate elite reinforcements in the center-back position to avoid a total nightmare. Finally, we celebrate a historic milestone for Lamine Yamal. Despite the aggregate loss to Atletico Madrid, the teenage sensation has officially become the youngest player in Champions League history to reach 10 goal involvements in a single edition. He has officially surpassed legends like Erling Haaland and Kylian Mbappé in the record books. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button and ring the bell for more updates.
Your brand new iPhone deserves the best protection, and the iLume 3-pack screen protector plus 3-pack camera lens protector has you covered. Don't take risks with your iPhone. Click the link in the video description to shop now on Amazon.
Spain and Barça Femení are currently riding a wave of success, but don't let the trophies and the win streaks fool you. There is a deeper, more dangerous problem lurking beneath the surface: predictability. For years, these two teams have been the gold standard of possession-based football, but in the modern era, every single pass, every movement, and every tactical blueprint is being dissected by analysts and geeks who leave nothing to secret. The overlap between the players in both squads is so immense that they've essentially become a mirror image of each other, sharing the same flaws. The real nightmare for them is the aggressive mid-block, the classic 4-4-2 or 4-5-1, which effectively neutralizes their midfield dominance and forces them into areas they absolutely despise: the wings and the defensive backline. When they try to force short, progressive passes into a crowded midfield, they turn the ball over, and the opposition hits them with lightning-fast counterattacks. Why do they still win? Because most teams simply lack the stamina or the clinical edge to maintain that pressure for 90 minutes. But for elite teams like England or Arsenal, this rigidity is a death sentence. To evolve, they must stop viewing defensive play as stooping low and embrace a more pragmatic approach. The midfield cheat code is over. They need to fix their toothless wings, specifically by starting Salma Parallulo to bring genuine offensive firepower over the stability of Pina. Most importantly, they must learn to attack with speed and purpose, rather than just circulating the ball in circles for the sake of aesthetics. Style is wonderful, but as any fan knows, history only remembers the victors, not the same players who played pretty football and lost. It's time to train the entire squad to be goal threats, moving away from dated cross-and-hope tactics and instead infiltrating the half spaces. If they don't adapt now, they are doomed to repeat the same failures over and over again. The heartbreak of another Champions League exit is still ringing in the ears of Barcelona fans, and the critics are not holding back. Former Barcelona defender Samuel Umtiti, now a transition into punditry, didn't mince words when analyzing the crash-out against Atletico Madrid. While the Catalans managed to claw back a 2-1 victory in the second leg at the Riyadh Air Metropolitano, it wasn't enough to overcome the 0-2 deficit from the first leg, leading to a 3-2 aggregate defeat. For Umtiti, the problem wasn't just a bad night on the pitch, but a systematic failure in the defensive approach. He pointed out that Barcelona's obsession with a high defensive line is a gamble that is consistently failing. Every time Atletico launched an attack, the Barcelona defenders were caught late, and those split-second delays in reaction time have a devastating cost. Umtiti's most damning observation was the link between this tactical rigidity and the red cards. He believes that because the defenders are constantly out of position or slow to react, they are forced into desperate, last-ditch tackles that result in marching orders. With Pau Cubarsí and Eric Garcia both seeing red, the team was crippled. Umtiti argues that if the matches had been played 11 against 11, the raw talent and quality of Barcelona would have easily seen them through. It is a tragedy of errors, where tactical stubbornness has turned a potential victory into a desperate scramble for survival, leaving a former star player feeling deeply disappointed in the current state of the backline. Barcelona's exit from the Champions League at the hands of Atletico Madrid has stripped away any remaining illusions about Hansi Flick's defensive project. The bold, high line he has implemented, where defenders are practically stationed at the halfway line, is a double-edged sword. On its best days, it suffocates opponents and recovers the ball in dangerous areas. On its worst, it leaves acres of open grass behind the defense, creating a nightmare for any goalkeeper facing a one-on-one. In the 2025-26 season, this system was categorically exposed, leading to a repetitive cycle of conceding the same type of goal over and over again, culminating in Ademola Lookman's decisive strike that extended Barcelona's 11-year drought of European glory. This tactical vulnerability is exacerbated by a lack of elite centre-backs. While the 19-year-old Pau Cubarsí shows immense promise, he is simply too green to be the anchor of a defense featuring an out-of-confidence Ronald Araujo and a converted fullback. Thierry Henry, speaking on CBS Sports, was brutal in his assessment, calling it a structural problem that requires an immediate solution. Henry argues that Barcelona is essentially handing opportunities to their rivals even when they are dominating the game. Without first-class stability and the agility to cover the massive gaps left by the high line, the team is perpetually living on a knife's edge. This failure to replace Íñigo Martínez has left the squad exposed, resulting in a string of red cards as defenders try to stop certain goals. Samuel Umtiti has echoed these sentiments, slamming the lack of adjustments. If Flick refuses to be pragmatic, and the club fails to sign world-class defenders, the 2026-27 season will be nothing more than a mirror image of this disaster. Despite the crushing weight of a Champions League exit, there is a glimmer of hope emerging from the wreckage for FC Barcelona. Losing 3-2 on aggregate to Atletico Madrid was a bitter pill to swallow, but the journey to the Spanish capital provided a revelation. The future of the club is in safe, young hands. In a historic move, Hansi Flick deployed the youngest starting lineup in the club's Champions League knockout history, with an average age of just 24.95 years. The squad was a daring experiment in youth, featuring players like the 18-year-old Lamine Yamal, who were barely more than children when Barcelona lifted their last Champions League trophy in 2015. To put it in perspective, Lamine was only 7, Gavi was 10, and Pedri was 12 when the club was winning European glory in Berlin. Amidst the collective failure, Lamine Yamal emerged as a supernova. The teenage winger didn't just play, he dominated, scoring a goal that etched his name into the record books. By registering at least 10 goal involvements, 6 goals and 4 assists, in a single edition of the competition, Lamine became the youngest player ever to achieve this feat, surpassing the likes of Erling Haaland and Kylian Mbappé. It is a poetic irony that while the team is struggling to find its way back to the pinnacle of Europe, a generational talent like Lamine is already breaking records that even the most elite strikers in the world could not match. While the elimination hurts, the belief remains that under Hansi Flick, Barcelona is heading in the right direction, with a youth-led revolution that is promising to turn the rest of the world's football back on the ground.